and to hear the stories, and we thank you for just the many ways that you do lift us, as we just sang. And now we enter into this, as we enter into this meeting of the congregation, be with us. Help us to know that this is your church, not ours, and help us to be able to manage your church in the very best way. So be with our conversations. May your Spirit move us and direct us as you would want. And all of these things we pray in your gracious name. And all God's people said, amen.
All right, good morning, everybody. As Pastor Todd mentioned, we need everybody to sign in so we make sure we have a quorum. I think maybe moving forward, the council might want to look at how we register our online watchers as well. So anyway, I'd like to call the meeting to order. And the first order of business would be to approve the 2022 annual meeting minutes. So if you have a chance, there's a nice little packet put together here, the annual report 2023. I'm sorry, I said the wrong year, didn't I? Take a look at that, and then I'll accept a motion to approve in a second whenever you have a chance. I move to approve the minutes. Please state your name as well so Carol can get that. Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Dave, we missed this. Second was Becky.
Anybody need, raise your hand. Sorry.
All right, so the first report we've got up here is the capital campaign report. Al, would you like to handle that?
Thank you, Dave. Thank you to all of you for being here today. Thank you for all your support. Jared is not here today, but he has put together a very nice capital campaign report. We've tried to keep you appraised of things that are going on, but thanks to all of us, we have made a significant difference around here in the past year. This is the beginning of the second year of a 3-year campaign, and as I drive into the parking lot at night around here now, because one of my pet peeves was how dark it was. I come for a lot of meetings between here and Boy Scouts. I am so glad that we now have lights in the parking lot. And that's just one. Yes, thank you. That's just one. Sign on the corner. Air conditioners, fences, kitchen remodeling. So many projects are going forward. And frankly, it's only because of us, because of you, and because of the capital campaign. We've been able to do some remarkable things together. We continue to pay down some money on the mortgage, which we wouldn't have been able to do without the capital campaign. And we continue to we're supporting missions, not only here locally with the link. We're going to be sending some money here very, very soon out to Green Lake Bible Camp for their project that they've got going on out there. And then we also have been able to support Moldova, where they have purchased a home for Ukrainian refugees. Because of our expected commitment of $25,000 to Moldova, Youth for Christ took another $25,000 and bought a home for Ukrainian refugees. And it's a huge home. There's a video clip that I'd really like to share at some point with you that Brian Blumker got for us. And it's a home that can support probably 5 to 7 different families. And it's a beautiful home. And it's because of the things that we did. So our impact is not only here in our congregation, in our community, but across the world. We're at $725,000 of a minimal expected on our capital campaign of $750,000. So I like to remind people there's still time. If you were unable or not able last year to make any sort of a commitment, you can certainly do that. We would like to get to that minimum $750,000 and probably more. Because frankly, I think you're aware, most of our projects are coming in at a higher, because of cost of materials, higher than expected, higher than what we had predicted. We've been blessed. You probably heard me a couple weeks ago say that we've been recipients of a $32,500 grant to try to make the changes for the child care center. So we got a lot of great things going on. And again, Jared's done a nice job of trying to update you in the annual report. I'm around if there's any ever questions. And then also, I think we're going to try to pick a Sunday for the forum or the education hour and be available and talk about all the great things that are going on. Kitchen projects starting soon.
Does anybody have any questions for Al? Travis, want to come down here? He's with the property committee. I asked him just to be here in person if there were any questions. As Al had mentioned, we've made a lot of progress in the last 12 months trying to get some bids firmed up, getting multiple bids, and in some cases we couldn't. And Travis has some background with, and he's had his hands full and involved in a lot of different things. So I'm just going to hand it over to Travis real quick, and if you guys have any questions, please ask.
Morning. I think Al summarized most of our projects. I mean, they've all been working in unison with each other, so there really isn't too much big things to announce other than what's been brought on. So I'd love to answer questions now or later or whenever you have time.
Travis, I think people like to hear a little more about the kitchen project. That's where I'm hearing the most buzz. Can you just give them a thumbnail sketch of what the
Sure, yep. Yeah, the kitchen project's probably our biggest moving project right now. Cabinets are supposed to be delivered and completed here end of February, early March. We need to follow up with Mike Lint and that team on specifically when that goes, but working on backdating a schedule here to start demolition. So we're going to be looking for congregation members to kind of jump on board and start demoing things and come up with a list of items that we want to try and save, that somebody has a passionate memorabilia, cabinets, countertop, anything like that, that somebody wants to try to utilize, try to spread the word to congregation members to let us know so we can come up with that list. We need to talk to Oak Ridge and get on board with those guys and what they're going to be doing. Yep.
We can't hear the question when Doug speaks. We can't hear him, at least I can't.
Sure. He asked when specifically the project would be starting here, so schedule time for him.
Several weeks back, Pastor Linda asked for volunteers to help tear out the old materials. What is your anticipated time for that?
Yeah, we need to get a hold of Oak Ridge and find out when specifically they're ready to start going, and then we'll hit the drawing board on that. I think the biggest thing, we need to talk with kitchen people who are working in the kitchen and kind of come up with a game plan on staging equipment, things like that we're going to try and use for funerals, anything that we use on our weekly basis to try and put it somewhere.
Are you gathering a list of volunteers?
Yeah, I'm specifically not, but I can try and jump on board with that.
So just so our online listeners can hear the questions, I have a mic, so if you want to say something, just raise your hand and I'll run the mic to you. Question. Are we gathering a list of volunteers? And you just answered that, right?
Yes, we will. I think we should post a board somewhere. You have one? Perfect. Perfect. We have the list in the binder in the office. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm happy to get going on it, so let's get it.
Thank you, Travis, for what you do.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving along, we've got the financial reports.
Welcome to the most exciting item on the agenda. Everybody loves the finances. And all of you are the ones that play the significant role in everything we do to make peace welcoming and a great place and successful. So thank you for all of your contributions. whether they be monetary, volunteering, adding to the capital campaign in both monetary means and labor, because we're trying to do as much as we can with our members. This is from page 5 in your annual meeting report. So I'm just going to review a couple of the bigger items. Our year-to-date income was $580,000, and our expenses year-to-date was $539,000. So we ended up with a profit of $40,700 and some dollars. And that is just fantastic. We kind of go through the year, we run the summer months where we're short, and just in December, we had gifts of $45,000. So that really brought us up to our $40,000 profit. And I wanted to point out, included in the general fund, there are a list of items that are included in that, but one of them is the building use. And I just wanted to say that this year it was $15,000 that we took in for ones that were using our building in different areas. So that has really come up. Also, we have a couple items under the expenses that we ended up below budget, which we are really going to work on this year, and I think there's a plan in place. Of the financials, page 5 of the financials, yeah.
So, page 30-something. Page 33.
Okay. And like one of them, for instance, is under the administration. Our office supplies, and that's where our copy machine goes, and we are entering, our copy machine was for a lease for 5 years, and that ends in April, and now we have a new copy machine coming where it'll be half the cost. We were paying about $1,300 a month, and it'll go down to $600 and some a month. So that'll really help out that deficit. Insurance was another big item, which is also mentioned in Dave's report as president. Grinnell canceled our insurance due to our high claims that we had from the storm. And then also I understanding they're kind of canceling a lot of them in Minnesota. And we got a new quote for $55,000 compared to the $17,000 that we were spending, which would be very difficult to handle. So I have to thank Ryan Schwartz, who was our agent for Grinnell and also a member. He really helped us through and locate a company that was one that was affordable, and he really worked diligently and helped us with the application, which I don't think would have been done on time because we had just down to hours, I think, at the final. But the name of it is Insurance Board, and it's out of Cleveland, Ohio. So that rate is like going to be $20,000 a year in comparison to $45,000 or $50,000. So thank you, Ryan. Also, our mortgage is one more item I was going to point out. We rewrote it in October of '22 to anticipate the rates going up on interest, which they did. So we locked in a 5-year rate at 5.75 for the next few years. So that was a bonus when we saw that the rates were going up. Last year we paid $46,000 on our mortgage as a total, and our new balance is $468,000 some dollars. So that's good to see that going down, and it will even more now with the capital campaign. So, any questions?
Hi, I'm Norman Rossi. My statement is you used the word profit. You know, I don't know if that's a proper word, because sometimes, yeah, there's excess money, but there maybe was some things that were budgeted didn't get done because we were short or anything like that. I question, is that a proper word, that a church is not a profit like a business would be, I guess.
Right. Very true. Thank you, Norm. That's right. We are a nonprofit organization, so net income would be a better term. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Gail. You don't need to approve no. All right. Next item on the agenda, President's Report. It is in your packet. I won't bore you by reading it to you, but I would like to highlight just a couple of things. I'm wrapping up my 6 years on council, and I remember my first day, Pastor Matt tendered his resignation. Welcome to the council, and we've been through quite a bit in these 6 years, and as Pastor Todd had mentioned, this year, at least in my 6 years, was the best, aside from you coming aboard, Pastor Todd. But the one thing in reflecting through the difficult times, transitioning through pastors, COVID, which hit all of us, not just as a church, but as people. Personally, these were hard times, but just amazing how all of you and those that are watching and that are not here, what a role we all play in keeping each other up during these difficult times. If you haven't served on a council, if you haven't served on any of the committees, I would recommend you do that. My favorite part of being part of the church council in the last 6 years is that I got to meet so many people I wouldn't have known otherwise. We all sit in our specific pew in our place and we worship, but we don't often get to know one another. And I can say in 6 years I've gotten to know and blessed to know so many people. So thank you for that. That's the summary of my President's Report. Any questions? Anything I can answer? Preston.
Ladies and gentlemen, this young man has served us for 6 years through tough times. He deserves a thank you. Won't you agree?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Preston. Staff reports.
I got my own. Just turned it on. I just want to take a moment to just say thank you. It has been an incredible honor and continues to be an honor to serve you. I still feel incredibly called to be in this place. I was pondering that this past week and thinking about my life and thinking, you know, I get excited to come here to worship with you, to plan, to do fun things, to do serious things. It's truly an honor, and I do feel called. And what a year we've had. It has been so exciting to have the capital campaign, to see some fruits of our labor, to see some of these things coming together, and then soon we'll start on the next round of that with the kitchen. It'll be great. We're very thankful for that. It is a busy time. Just so you know, I mean, every time we meet, we have a taskmaster who comes with a list every week. I'm not mentioning any names or looking at him. But, you know, just so you all know, we're busy. There's a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of excitement, and there's a lot of opportunities, and so we're always thinking and being creative, and every time we get together, it's like this long list of things that we are planning and accomplishing and doing, and we can't do that without all of you. So thank you. Thank you for all the ways that you volunteer, all the ways that you step up, all the ways that you have been God's people in this place at this time.
I guess I do need a mic here. I just wanted to offer just a couple of words here. I mean, I didn't give a sermon today, so I've got, I got some penned up in me. Okay, so I would like you all to turn to page 29. In the bottom corner are the numbers, page 29 to our statistical report. So I will just tell you, this is a mess. and it's no fault of anyone's. It's just our system in the office is one that has not caught up in that it had been changed many years ago. But then with that change came a change of staffing and a change of all sorts of things. So as you can see, somehow, first of all, we have 1,939 members at the end of 2023. But if you look above that, the baptized membership is 1,484, which means we have nearly 500 people at Peace who have never been baptized. No, that's just so silly. In fact, we went and had a look, and Blumkers, do you know that you're not baptized? Yeah. And Chris, my wife, do you know you're not baptized? I was kind of amazed. I did slip under the baptism part, but anyway, there's over 500 people we don't think are baptized. Look how many people have not been confirmed. Nearly 1,000, and statistically, confirmation age would be 10th grade and less. If you become an adult member here, you're considered confirmed. So that we should have 1,000 kids here on Wednesday nights, and we don't. It's just in need of updating. Now, in August, we sent a letter to everybody, so 800 and some households that make up the 2,000 members here. And I don't know what percentage we got. Julie Muffley has been kind of coordinating that project, but it wasn't a lot. Maybe a few hundred we got back.
No, we probably got 25%.
25%. So anyway, based on that 25% response, and the letter simply said, hey, we're updating our system. Could you give us your current information, so, and then if you have kids that you consider our members here, let us know their names and addresses and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, thank you to the 25%, but 75%, that's a lot. So then we sent a second wave, late fall, and I don't know, but we need to update this membership list and any help you can offer us. You may be getting a call with this random question, have you been baptized? And it's not the, local, they worship in a house down the street, but it is our efforts to try to update this so that these numbers can be accurate. But right now, those numbers are not accurate. So if that kind of messes you up. It does look like we really lost a lot of members this year, but that is because of the 25% that responded, because I think we do carry an awful lot of names where the people have long ago left Peace or moved or whatever, and we just need to update that. For any of you who have adult children that you consider are members here, then they probably got one of those letters. So can you just ask them, hey, did you get a letter from Peace a long time ago, and did you return it? Because any of that can help our efforts to update our records. The second thing I wanted to just mention is, and you can go, Cammie, if you could put that picture up. About a week and a half ago, we had a staff retreat, and we had it at Green Lake Bible Camp. And I just want to say, I love our staff. I've been at a few churches where maybe I wouldn't have said that so readily. To have harmony in a staff is such a gift for a church, because when there's inner fighting in the staff or the people aren't getting along, the church suffers for it. I feel so blessed to have each and every one of those people there. They do a fabulous job. They do work hard. And I just want to say thank you to all of them. And as the one request I would have would be echoing what Linda said, and that is, if there's one thing that in our retreat we talked about and a few people dreamt of, it would be, can we get more volunteers? It's hard sometimes to find people. I'm talking to the choir because as I look at everybody here, you're the people who kind of step up to everything. You came to the annual meeting. But I'm thinking if we can encourage our friends, our neighbors to find some niche to get involved, it is a way to also feel connected to your church community and really kind of feel proud to be a part of that group. So anyway, big thank you to all of you and to all the people who do volunteer, because that makes our work a little easier. So big thank you to the staff here. It's a blessing to work with them. Just one last thing, and that is just a reminder for all the council members who will be voted in today, and for all the current council members, right after this meeting, if you could quickly, we need to do a very fast touch base with all the council people. We'll do it in the fireside room. So just head directly there. It's going to be super short, and so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Todd. All right. Letter I, here's the committee and association reports. Those are all within your packet. The next item on the agenda is the presentation of the ballot. We won't be passing it around per se, but first of all, we have some council members that have been gracious enough to agree to serve if the congregation approves. We've got Melissa Bergeson. If you're here, by the way, could you please stand up?
Melissa had to leave for a funeral.
Okay. Kyle Larson is in Florida. Carol has agreed to serve another 3-year term. And Brenda Weiss, are you here? Thank you. So we have 4 positions open, and those are the 4 that have been kind enough to agree to step into those positions. So at this time, I would accept a nomination to approve those 4. So moved. Al Bailey. Second. Got a second? Carol's right behind you, so I figure. All right, so a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. I need a little guidance on the other positions.
As for delegates, so our conference they are having their assembly at Faith Lutheran next Sunday. Yeah, the 4th. Yeah, next Sunday. So it's, I think, about an hour and a half event at Faith Lutheran. We can have up to 8 delegates at that. So if there are people that'd be willing to represent peace at that event, and then the Synod Assembly, we can have 5, and it needs to be at least 2 men, 3 women, or 3 men, 2 women for that. And ideally, those 5 are among the 8 who go next Sunday, but they don't have to be. But it'd be okay if the Synod Assembly is the 2nd weekend in June, and I think it's a Friday to a Saturday at Gustavus. And people this year will have an option to either be in person or to join online. So you don't have to actually physically be there if you don't want to be there. So, pardon me? I don't know. I know it's connected so they can do their prayer service at 7 at the end of it. So it's late afternoon, and for next Sunday. So anyway, we need
Todd,
a handful of delegates.
it is.
There's a voice.
It's me back here.
Okay.
Online, it was listed at 4 p.m. for the
4 p.m.
Yep.
Thank you. 4 p.m. next Sunday. So we could use volunteers to be delegates for both those things.
Thank you. We also have the Lebanon Cemetery Board. We've got 3 positions, and we have 3 people who are nominated. So we've got Charlie Lundberg, Brandon Nelson, and Bruce Nelson. I would accept a motion to approve those 3. Got a motion? Leonard? Do we have a second? Name? Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And I think the rest of this is all different delegates for other things. Okay. Yes. All right.
We did not hear that. Whatever Carol said.
She said, Dave, get on the stick. So just to highlight, and we don't really, so we need some delegates to Lakeland Conference Assembly, delegates to Southwest Minnesota Synod Assembly. That's kind of what Pastor Todd had touched on. Delegates to the Gustavus annual meeting, delegates to Bethesda annual meeting, and then delegates to Green Lake Lutheran Ministries annual meeting. We do have one delegate, Quentin, and dates to be determined on all of these. So I don't think we have to actually nominate people right now unless somebody would like to. But otherwise, you can let the office know, correct?
If we could find out if people want to volunteer here, that'd be wonderful.
Okay. So do we have? So the delegates to Southwest Minnesota Synod Assembly, is that what you're talking about? All right. That's June 7th and 8th at Gustavus Adolphus College. Is anybody interested in being a delegate?
Is that the 7th and 8th?
Yes.
Is that the one that's also online, or is it Lakeland that's online? It's also online.
It's both online or in person, you can choose.
Both online and in person, your choice. All right. I guess we'll circle back.
We'll do that.
Wesleyans, thank you. Moving along on the agenda then. Is there any old business? I don't think we had any from the minutes. So new business, we've got the 2024 proposed budget. Gail, would you like to walk us through that?
The Finance Committee met, and this is starting on page 1 of the finances. I don't know if it has another page number in there, but it's at the end of your booklet.
Page 37. Sorry.
34? There aren't a lot of changes at all. We did increase the general charitable giving by about 15,000, and I think that is workable. The salaries and the benefits, the personnel team met, and they proposed the cost of living increase, which was 3.2%, and to stick with that. And we did include the additional pastor for a few months of the year, not for the full year, because he isn't here yet, or she isn't here yet. So that's on page 1. On 2, it's just the youth, the leadership and pastoral care totals, and our properties. Properties are one of the largest expenses, of course, because of our building. And that's where the insurance falls under. And that is about the same. We're proposing about the same as we had last year. The administrative I talked about earlier. I did want to point out, though, missions, which I didn't mention earlier, that we had 52,000 something that we gave to missions, and I think that's just fantastic. So hopefully, if our income raises, that will be even higher for next year. Any other questions? That's just some of the highlights that I pointed out.
Thank you, Gail. So we'll need a motion to approve the 2024 budget.
Dave, I'll make that motion.
Cliff? And Al. All right, so we've got a motion and a second to approve the 2024 church budget. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, same sign? Motion carried. All right. Pastor Linda.
I just had a question. Is there any report from the call committee? Sorry, it's for online. Is there any update from the call committee?
Rick.
Okay, the call committee has interviewed 3 people. We've interviewed a 4th person, the first round, anticipating a second interview. And then we have another Zoom meeting coming up. So we've seen and talked with 5 different people. Candidates are not coming in really fast. Let's put it that way. Oh yes, in the Southwest Synod, there's around 40 pastor vacancies. So we're pretty fortunate to even have 5 candidates.
Very good. Thank you, Rick, and the call committee. With that,
Thank you. Just a reminder, the newly elected council and past members, we're going to meet in the Fireside Hall room right after this, so please don't, it's just going to be a short meeting, just kind of get our thoughts together, and then we'll go from there. So let us close in prayer. Gentle Jesus, you have called us to a mission of love, encouragement, and service in all the places of our daily lives. May we remember we are yours. We are your beloved children, and we love and serve your people everywhere. So give us the courage and the encouragement that we need each moment for each day, and reveal to us your will, and help us to be mindful of the needs of others, especially in our congregation and in our community. And Lord, encourage us to love and grow in our faith journeys, to become a community of faith together as we live and work in this place and this time. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
meeting adjourned.